Buenos dias, wake up. Omni Cosmic, you already know. Love you so natural. How's it going this morning? Esta mañanita. Oh no, wait a minute. Buenos dias. I'm in. I'm Omni Cosmic. Hello, I hope you guys had a good couple of days. I've been busy. We all know. Love you so natural. You already know. Wake up, wake up. So we're on numbers 4. So I'm gonna go through that. I am gonna read a prayer for today. And it should be good. So happy Fortification Friday. You already know. Fortify yourself before the end of week so that you can have a beautiful Saturday and a beautiful Sunday. You won't miss out on the good stuff. That's out in the world. Well, in your world, even better. Never mind the rest of the world. Okay. So here we go. I think I want to change the way I describe the morning homage. I think I'm going to change it from prayer to probably I would say maybe something like morning. I don't know. We'll see. But let's leave it for that now. So here we go. You ready? And before I read this, I just want to let you know that Father God is inside of you. He's not outside of you. He's not up in the sky. He's not down below. He's not some dude with white hair. Devil in a dude with red. He's not a red horned guy. So I just want you to understand that before we go on. Okay? Got the power drink in the morning. Extra spicy today. It's getting cold. I know it's cold up there up north. I'm getting pictures from my people up there with wearing their jackets and bundling up, wearing long johns, big leather jackets, hefty hoodies, big boots. So come on and love your soul natural. You already know. Wake up. I've been doing some things. I'm extremely tired, if you can probably already tell, because I had a long night. Haven't been able really to sleep lately. But you know, such is life. I gotta keep it moving. I literally didn't sleep at all. I don't even remember. But here we are today, Fortification Friday. Fortify your soul. You already know. Wake up. Okay, here we go. Say, Almighty Yahweh, as this Friday morning begins, fortify my spirit against the trials and temptations of the day. Strengthen my mind to resist doubt and my heart to conquer fear. May your power be the wall of protection around me, guiding my thoughts, words, and actions with wisdom and integrity. I willingly surrender my will and my worries into your loving hands. I acknowledge that your plan is greater than my own. Help me release the need to control the outcome of this day and to accept whatever you allow. I lay down my burdens, my anxieties, and my selfish desires at your feet. Let your will be done in and through me. Fill me with your quiet confidence that comes from knowing I am protected and guided by you. May I approach this day and this coming weekend, end of week, with an open heart, ready to serve and ready to rest. Amen. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Listen, I've been figuring out. I'm trying to figure out something that I need. That I need. Right. I need to do like some volunteer work, and I've been looking at going to the hospital and volunteering at a hospital for cancer patients. I've been thinking about that a lot. I think the hospital that I was going to is it's a Advent Health. If you guys know that company, or whatever. You got to go through a chapel to do so because you don't want to say the wrong things to somebody going. But just volunteer work. I've been thinking about doing that. If you're thinking about doing any volunteer work, let me know what it is. There's a couple of things that I would like to do. That's one of them. Another one is help kids like with finances, like learning finances, because I didn't know finances. I wish I did, believe me. But I'm learning now. So that's a nice thing. There's a thing that I do, a voluntary help that's it's about money. So that kind of gave me the inspiration for that. But I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, Friday poem. You ready? I said, "Are you ready?" Here we go. The week is waning. The final light is cast. The heavy labor of the hours is past. But before the stillness of the Sabbath nears, we build our bulwarks. Hello. Against coming fears. The Fortification Friday, let us mend the weakened structures where our spirits bend. Not with stone. Hello there. But clear intention and focused fire, we gather the lessons the last 5 days have taught. The battles we surrendered and the victories we fought. We seal the cracks where doubt began to creep and dredge the well where courage lies asleep. We fortify the mind with truth we know is sound, rejecting every lie. Hello. That tries. Yeah, you guys need something better to do. Okay. We strengthen the resolve to forgive and to release, to find within the quiet the beginning of our peace. So let the hammers fall on weakness we find, to build a haven for the soul and mind, a structure ready when the new week starts to rise, fortified for action beneath the weekend skies. There you go. That's the poem for today. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. See you later. All right, so I'm gonna open up the Holy Bible on my phone so I can pray it. And then I'm going to go to the Bible where it says down here, Bible, and we're on 4. So this is Numbers 4. We read Leviticus last week. Found out a lot of cool stuff about this history with these folks out there in that land and their God, and how he was setting down rules for them and punishing them for certain things that they've done, teaching them how to obey him, how to praise him, sacrifice to him, that kind of stuff. That's what we learned in Leviticus. This is Numbers. I really don't remember what it was talking about, but we're on Numbers chapter 4. So I'm just gonna keep it moving. But again, ask for discernment when you're listening to this. Ask for clarity, so that you can have your own path, right? Because don't be led by others. Don't follow others. Follow yourself. So discern for yourself. Always cross-reference. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not none of that. I'm just a man trying to understand this realm before I leave it. And I'm probably never going to do that. It's probably never going to happen, but that's okay. Right now, there's a lot of spiritual war going on. Believe me when I tell you, it's heavy. It's getting real heavy. A lot of folks are falling for the okie doke, right? Falling for that false god that I explained to you in here, in the same place that they're trying to wrap you up in. So be aware. Be as clear-minded as you can in any situation. be mindful of your surroundings, of people who you talk with, who you interact with, even at work. Just be aware of you know how people are acting, and what are the things that they're saying and doing. You watch your children if you have children. Bless them with the Bible. Show them how to read the Bible, please. It's very necessary, especially in these coming dark days. It's gonna get darker. It's gonna get real dark. It's gonna get real dark. I feel it. But just live for today. Today's a gift. Enjoy it. Get, don't worry about anything. There's nothing for you to worry about. You do have to live here. You do have to follow the rules, right? That's just the way it is. That's just the way it's built. But as you do go along and live in your life, try to learn and see as many things as you can, because you never know, right? Because you're here one moment and the next you're just a vapor. You're just a vapor. So just be aware as much as you can. Look around. Try to be clean-minded, so that you can be aware of what's going on, and who's doing what, and what's being said, and just be aware. Don't be afraid of it, because if you're afraid of it, then that's what it wants. It wants you to be afraid. Don't be afraid. You can't be afraid. Everybody before a boxing match gets nervous. You see those guys in there in the ring and they're brave. They're nervous. You ever been in a fight? You get nervous and scared, right? Because it happens, because that's part of your body's response. So don't confuse that, with being afraid. It's not being afraid. You confront your situations as best as you can. Just be aware. Read the Bible. Put your face in the Bible. Don't beg for something that's outside of you, because nothing's going to come and save you. There's nothing going to come and save you from the sky. Nothing's going to come to save you. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, fortify your mind, fortify your soul, love your soul, not your role. Listen to yourself, listen to your intuition. Just pay attention to your body, how it responds to certain situations, certain things, and how you're changing. Are you changing? Have you seen changes in you? Do you notice that the things that you're looking at now that you looked at before, that you don't look at the same? Not just because of your age, but because the moments, there's a lot of information flowing around. A lot of it's false. A lot of it's uncontrolled information. So when you have that, and you have people who really have been controlled, and now all of a sudden, the fire's loose, and everybody thinks they know everything, and everybody knows everything about everything. Everybody wants to be an advisor. Everybody wants to be a cook. Everybody wants to be. You got to follow your own path as much as you can, right? Without a lot of distractions, and that's really difficult to sit in silence. It's not easy. It's to say the least. I would say that sitting in silence and trying to reground yourself is pretty scary, because you don't know who you are, right? You're just being distracted all day, every day. Then the moment you try to figure that out, it becomes very difficult. It's not easy. It is very, very scary. It's very challenging. But you can do it. You can do it. You can get out the darkness. You got to get out the darkness. There's nothing but darkness out there. There's nothing but darkness, and you can see it all around you. So you're the light. If you can see this stuff going on, and you can recognize it, you're that light in that darkness. So don't give up. Don't give up. Keep it moving. Believe in yourself. Believe in your heart of hearts that as many times as you fall, as many lessons that you can acquire in your lifetime to learn. And when you do, you can share that with someone, or you could just take it with you. But to have a peaceful and glorious life would be nice, right? It's not, not everybody gets to have that in a lifetime. So if you're doing good, if you're doing well, take care of your health. Try to eat whole foods as much as possible. Try to stay away from processed foods. All these things contain the devil, and the devil is a worm. The worm is what's inside you that's making you do things that you would never do if you were natural. If you had natural, foods, and you got to get rid of the toxins. I'm doing this now, and it's not easy. I'm seeing things clearer in my path, in my way. I'm more aware of the mistakes that I make, how I make them, why I make them, things of that nature. I'm pretty much aware of everything that's going on, and it's probably a little bit too much for me at this point. But I got to do it. It's coming to me, so I can't. There's nothing I can do about it. I got to roll with it. I got to understand it and try to be patient and try to be as positive as possible, because I'm telling you, it's dark. It's dark. I thought we were in dark times when I was a kid, but you're oblivious because you're a kid. But there's a lot of things going on, a lot of elevation, a lot of separation, of mindsets, of spirituality, and you don't want to be in the belly of the beast. I'm telling you that right now. That's not going to be a place where you want to be for whatever they say, eternity. I'm not saying it's going to be what they depict as being red hell, blue hell, but dimensions do exist, because you're in one right now. So just picture that. But love your soul, not your role. Listen twice, speak once. Love your soul, not your role. Do something good for yourself today. Sit in your thoughts if you can. Meditate if you can. You're being distracted by many things on many levels. So it's really difficult if you're trying to fight something that you can't see, that you don't understand, that you don't understand, but it's attacking you. You're being attacked. You can feel it. You can feel it all over your mind, your body, everywhere. You're sick. You don't know how to think about certain things, how to, you're always being pulled here and there, and who does this and who does that. And then you live a whole lifetime just being pulled back and forth without being able to say that you lived a life. So just take care of yourself. Love your soul, not your role. Love your soul, not your role. Take care of yourself. You are the temple of the church. It's your body, and you are Christ. There's nobody else Christ. This stuff has been convoluted to control the way you see life. You don't even know how you see life. Well, it says this and that says this. That's all we do. We follow stuff that we have no idea. We have no idea. Because once you start following something and then they change the idea on you, now what do you know? You know nothing. Now you got to start from scratch. So you got to know something. You got to study something on your own. On your own. As soon as you learn how to read, or you teach your children how to read, and they learn how to read, teach them, to read these books, read these historical books, learn about what's going on, what happened prior, so that we can see what's going on now, right? Why is this happening? Who's letting this happen? Am I letting this happen? Is this my reality? Is this my... you're looking out into the world from what's inside of you, but you don't even know what's inside of you. You don't have a clue. You're not connected to you, and you're lost, and everybody's lost. Everybody's running around trying to figure it out. There's nothing to figure out. There's nothing to figure out. You got rules and laws that you have to follow through societies. The societies in you, and you have to follow them, and then just be at peace. Be at peace with yourself as much as you can. There's nothing for you to figure out. If God wants you, if Yahweh wants you to figure something out, he's going to come in. He's going to intervene, and he's going to give you something to do. Whether you like it or not, and you're going to have to finish that task, right? But don't fight life. Don't fight life. I need this, I need that. Don't fight it. Because at the very end, you're not going to have any of that stuff that you fought for, that you worked for, but your soul. That's it. You're going to have nothing else but your soul. And then what? Ooh, that's going to be heavy on you. It's heavy on me even saying that. What you're going to do when you don't have those cars, those houses, whatever very little that you have that is external outside of you that you can't take with you. What then? How will you travel at that point? Where will you travel? Will you even be conscious of what? That's the kind of stuff that people don't think about, right? Because we all go through that. Everybody dies. And they're telling you there's been people on this planet discovering this information, so that some of it comes from people who are using psychedelic drugs. We all know that. I don't know if you know that, but yeah, that's how that happens. Sitting outside looking at there was nothing else for them to do but look up and write stuff down. When they learned how to do that, whoever taught them that, who taught them that? You got to figure who that individual was. And then there's so many different types of deities and so many different types of teachers that throughout history, that you don't know if they're real or not. Is this person real? Because they, like Thoth, he has so many different, Hermes, so many different aspects, or so many different names, and from all different countries, but he's the same dude. He's the same entity all over. What is it? Is it real? Is it something that you can hold? Yeah, you got something that's written down that he said that he wrote. He did this, he did that, but is it real? Is it real to you? If it's real to you, then that's the energy and frequency that you're gonna lie under. So I mean, I look at it. You got to try to make your own path, and you can't. Nobody wants you to do that. Nobody wants you to make your own path. It's a everybody that sees you making your own path. Those that want to be you, those that don't want to see. There's a reason why. There's a reason why. The parasites. There's a lot of parasites inside of your body that's controlling everything. When I learned about that, that's my main thing right now. My main thing right now is trying to keep those things out of my body. Those things they're literally demons. They manipulate you. Look them up. Look them up. I've been following some guys that do detoxes, and I've been doing a detox myself. And more than anything, I'm more interested in relieving myself of those parasites, because what they do is they're very smart. They've been around for a long time, right? And they adjust, and then they take their host and they use. There's a wasp. I gotta figure the wasp out. It's called the green wasp. It takes a roach and it embeds like some kind of serum that makes that animal sort of like a zombie, and then it injects an egg inside of it, and then that egg eats the inside of the roach and becomes a wasp. Same deal. So if there are things like if you feel sluggish, if you feel like your mind is foggy and hazy, if you have certain emotional imbalances, that's all stemmed down to that, believe me. And even more difficult complex diseases, which is what we call. And I've been doing that. I had cancer, so I figured a lot of stuff out on my own, and it was important because I wanted to live, right. So figure if you're from, say, you're from an island, and you have parents, that used to use these certain herbs when you were a kid to give you, instead of giving you like Tylenol and Benadryl and all that stuff. They would give you like some type of tea, right? They would take some, like my grandmother would buy some leaves, she'd make a tea and she'd give it to me, and that would make me feel 100. Yeah. See if you can latch onto that. See if you can latch on to eating whole foods and plants, and because all this beef and meat stuff, I'm not saying don't eat it, but it takes seven to 8 days or something like that for beef to digest in your system. And while that's trying to digest, you're trying to go to sleep, you're trying to work, and then you eat again and again. Especially Americans, man, we eat too much. We eat way too much, and then we end up sick in the hospital. It's just a cycle. It's just a cycle, and I'm trying to break that. I'm not trying to live in that madness. I'd rather try to do this clean stuff, clean detox, than going to the hospital and having them come to surgery on me, and me dying a couple of days later. Nah, I'd rather do as much as I can now, and some of it's working. I don't know how far or how good it's working, but I'm gonna get a blood test and see what where my vitals and all that stuff stand. So just take care. Just love your soul, not your role. And don't live life outside of you. You live life outside of you, and everything's gonna be like a cyclone. It's just turning and turning and turning and turning and turning, spitting you out, and then you going back in and spitting you out, and there's no stillness, right? You don't have any stillness. You can't be still. You can't sit by yourself and think and have zero interruptions, so that you can live a life. You can't live a life if you're doing things automatically. You're just automatically doing this, doing that. But you lose your life before you know it. Before you know it, you're gonna be, if willingly that you get to that age, right? To be 50. I'm 50, right? Wasn't easy. It's still not easy. Definitely not easy now. But I'm not trying to be an old decrepit 50. You feel me? Like hurting. I don't want that. I don't want any pain. I've been through too much pain. Physical pain. I don't need that. I'm trying to stay away from that. So by doing the things that I'm doing, I feel a lot better, a lot lighter, a lot more energy. But there's things that need to be regulated. Not eating every day, all day, junk food, especially pizza. I just ate some pizza, but not every day. I don't eat it every day. Soups and mushrooms and veggies, raw, and it helps. I can feel the changes is and even in my choices of food. Like right now, when I go to the store, I don't even pass the produce aisle. I literally don't, unless I'm gonna get like plastic water. Other than that, I try to buy everything there and I eat everything raw. Of course, after a while, it becomes a little bit mundane, a little bit, because we're so used to eating different types of foods, which is also an issue because if you eating Italian and Chinese and these foods are, and you're not Italian and not Chinese, they're gonna affect you in a different way. Believe that. You can believe that, because these people, like our people, we don't eat meat, right? We don't because we didn't have meat. We had fruits and veggies. Other people brought over meat. So just think about that. You gotta adjust your whole system of your DNA from people that were eating totally different from what, and now your body has to adjust, and you're just continuously burning like an engine that doesn't shut off, so you overheat. So when you overheat, you're gonna need medical attention. That's what happened to me. I was eating and working and drinking and eating and work the same thing all day, every day. I didn't sit down to take time to reflect, to think, to process, to just be with me, to do those things and I tried. I was there. I was there where I'm getting to right now again. I was already here. I was already studying all of this stuff. I was already in the midst of breaking that cycle until I was tested, and in that test I failed it. I failed that test. But that's okay, because I'm back, and I'm doing this here because it helps me. And again, I'm perfectly imperfect. I'm definitely not a perfect person. And definitely not. Absolutely not. But you gotta try. You gotta try day in and day out. Day in and day out, no matter what, man. If somebody push you down, get up, try it again. Get up, try it again. Push yourself to continue, try to be consistent as much as possible. For your own self, for your own mental health, for your own physical health. You got to keep on trying. You can't stop. You can't stop, because the moment you stop, you won't. Does it matter that you remember that you lived a life? Not really, because you'll be dead. But what if? Just what if? I'm down for something different. I'm down for something, really, as living here would say, out of this world. I'm down for that. I'm definitely down for traveling and doing like I used to when I was a kid in my sleep. That used to be fun. I used to sleep and dream. I was astral planing. Now that I learned what it was, and then I did it on purpose twice in my life. That was cool. Those are two things that I'll always remember. But anyway, love your soul natural. Listen twice and speak once. And let's hear this numbers. And again, we're reading this book because we need to. But I need to read this book. I need to figure some stuff out that's been pushed in my face, pushed in all of our faces, but yet still nobody reads it. Everybody wants to make money off of it, and that's all well and good or not. But since this is something that is part of this world, and it's a big part of the world. There's big deceptions in here. There's big, lies. There's truths. There's, misleadings. There's, all convoluted information. But you got to figure it out. Read it out. Father God does exist. We do have a Yahweh. That's facts. But we got to get through this veil. It's basically a veil that His enemies have put in front of you, in order for you to not serve the right Yahweh. Deceptive, but you just got to read the Bible. Love you so much. Well, here we go. It's 7:30, so we'll do chapter 4. Maybe chapter 4 is pretty long, so let me see. It has 46 verses, so here we go. Dear Father, please give us the understanding, understanding, and the discernment of the Holy Spirit as we listen. Thank you.
Numbers chapter 4. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Take a census of the Kohathite branch of the Levites by their clans and families. Count all the men from 30 to 50 years of age who come to serve in the work at the tent of meeting. This is the work of the Kohathites at the tent of meeting. the most holy things. When the camp is to move, Aaron and his sons are to go in and take down the shielding curtain and put it over the Ark of the Covenant law. Then they are to cover the curtain with durable leather, spread a cloth of solid blue over that, and put the poles in place. Over the table of the presence they are to spread a blue cloth, and put on it the plates, dishes, and bowls, and the jars for drink offerings. The bread that is continually there is to remain on it. They are to spread a scarlet cloth over them, cover that with durable leather, and put the poles in place. They are to take a blue cloth and cover the lampstand that is for light, together with its lamps, its wick trimmers and trays, and all its jars for the oil used to supply it. Then they are to wrap it and all its accessories in a covering of durable leather, and put it on a carrying frame. Over the gold altar they are to spread a blue cloth, and cover that with durable leather, and put the poles in place. They are to take all the articles used for ministering in the sanctuary, wrap them in a blue cloth, cover that with durable leather, and put them on a carrying frame. They are to remove the ashes from the bronze altar and spread a purple cloth over it. Then they are to place on it all the utensils used for ministering at the altar, including the fire pans, meat forks, shovels, and sprinkling bowls. Over it they are to spread a covering of durable leather and put the poles in place. After Aaron and his sons have finished covering the holy furnishings and all the holy articles, and when the camp is ready to move, only then are the Kohathites to come and do the carrying. But they must not touch the holy things, or they will die. The Kohathites are to carry those things that are in the tent of meeting. Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, is to have charge of the oil for the light, the fragrant incense, the regular grain offering, and the anointing oil. He is to be in charge of the entire tabernacle and everything in it, including its holy furnishings and articles. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "See that the Kohathite tribal clans are not destroyed from among the Levites, so that they may live and not die when they come near the most holy things. Do this for them. Aaron and his sons are to go into the sanctuary and assign to each man his work and what he is to carry. But the Kohathites must not go in to look at the holy things even for a moment, or they will die." The Lord said to Moses, "Take a census also of the Gershonites by their families and clans. Count all the men from 30 to 50 years of age who come to serve in the work at the tent of meeting. This is the service of the Gershonite clans in their carrying and their other work. They are to carry the curtains of the tabernacle, that is, the tent of meeting, its covering and its outer covering of durable leather, the curtains for the entrance to the tent of meeting, the curtains of the courtyard surrounding the tabernacle and altar, the curtain for the entrance to the courtyard, the ropes, and all the equipment used in the service of the tent. The Gershonites are to do all that needs to be done with these things. All their service, whether carrying or doing other work, is to be done under the direction of Aaron and his sons. You shall assign to them as their responsibility all they are to carry. This is the service of the Gershonite clans at the tent of meeting. Their duties are to be under the direction of Ithamar, son of Aaron, the priest. Count the Merarites by their clans and families. Count all the men from 30 to 50 years of age who come to serve in the work at the tent of meeting. As part of all their service at the tent, they are to carry the frames of the tabernacle, its crossbars, posts, and bases, as well as the posts of the surrounding courtyard with their bases, tent pegs, ropes, all their equipment, and everything related to their use. Assign to each man the specific things he is to carry. This is the service of the Merarite clans as they work at the tent of meeting, under the direction of Ithamar, son of Aaron, the priest. Moses, Aaron, and the leaders of the community counted the Kohathites by their clans and families. All the men from 30 to 50 years of age who came to serve in the work at the tent of meeting, counted by clans, were 2,750. This was the total of all those in the Kohathite clans who served at the tent of meeting. Moses and Aaron counted them according to the Lord's command through Moses. The Gershonites were counted by their clans and families. All the men from 30 to 50 years of age who came to serve in the work at the tent of meeting, counted by their clans and families, were 2,630. This was the total of those in the Gershonite clans who served at the tent of meeting. Moses and Aaron counted them according to the Lord's command. The Merarites were counted by their clans and families. All the men from 30 to 50 years of age who came to serve in the work at the tent of meeting, counted by their clans, were 3,200. This was the total of those in the Merarite clans. Moses and Aaron counted them according to the Lord's command through Moses. So Moses, Aaron, and the leaders of Israel counted all the Levites by their clans and families. All the men from 30 to 50 years of age who came to do the work of serving and carrying the tent of meeting numbered 8,580. At the Lord's command through Moses, each was assigned his work and told what to carry. Thus they were counted as the Lord commanded Moses. Numbers chapter 5. The Lord said to Moses, "Command the Israelites to send away from the camp anyone who has a defiling skin disease or a discharge of any kind, or who is ceremonially unclean because of a dead body. Send away male and female alike. Send them outside the camp, so that they will not defile their camp where I dwell among them." The Israelites did so. They sent them outside the camp. They did just as the Lord had instructed Moses. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, any man or woman who wrongs another in any way, and so is unfaithful to the Lord, is guilty and must confess the sin they have committed. They must make full restitution for the wrong they have done, add a fifth of the value to it, and give it all to the person they have wronged. But if that person has no close relative to whom restitution can be made for the wrong, the restitution belongs to the Lord and must be given to the priest, along with the ram with which atonement is made for the wrongdoer. All the sacred contributions the Israelites bring to a priest will belong to him. Sacred things belong to their owners, but what they give to the priest will belong to the priest." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, if a man's wife goes astray and is unfaithful to him so that another man has sexual relations with her, and this is hidden from her husband, and her impurity is undetected, since there is no witness against her and she has not been caught in the act, and if feelings of jealousy come over her husband, and he suspects his wife and she is impure, or if he is jealous and suspects her, even though she is not impure, then he is to take his wife to the priest. He must also take an offering of 1/10 of an ephah of barley flour on her behalf. He must not pour olive oil on it or put incense on it, because it is a grain offering for jealousy, a reminder offering to draw attention to wrongdoing. The priest shall bring her and make her stand before the Lord. Then he shall take some holy water in a clay jar and put some dust from the tabernacle floor into the water. After the priest has made the woman stand before the Lord, he shall loosen her hair and place in her hands the reminder offering, the grain offering for jealousy, while he himself holds the bitter water that brings a curse. Then the priest shall put the woman under oath and say to her, if no other man has had sexual relations with you, and you have not gone astray and become impure while married to your husband, may this bitter water that brings a curse not harm you. if you have gone astray while married to your husband, and you have made yourself impure by having sexual relations with a man other than your husband, here the priest is to put the woman under this curse. May the Lord cause you to become a curse among your people when he makes your womb miscarry and your abdomen swell.
Okay, now that's pretty important. I wonder, I'm not wondering, I know that people, when they get married, don't know anything about any of this, because most people that get married in America end up getting a divorce, and this kind of stuff happens all the time. So let's just say that, so if you're an Israelite or you're not an Israelite, it doesn't really matter, because this to me is not my history, right? This is obviously from a different country that, whatever. That this would happen to a woman. That they would put a woman before a priest, and if she says she's pure, then she didn't do it, she's fine. If she's not, she gets cursed. So I personally wouldn't want that to happen to me. Like, I wouldn't want to be cursed because I was impure and unclean and whatever, right? That's scary stuff to know that can happen to you. But again, this is information that's not, people are not privy to this kind of stuff if they say that they're Christian, especially if they say that they're Christian. Most of these people, and I'm not throwing no believe me, I'm not throwing no stones. But most people that do these types of things, and it begs me to think about, were these people doing these things to have their Lord do this kind of stuff, run them through this kind of stuff, right? Because why would he do it? If they, he made them pure in his likeness, they're still doing this kind of stuff. Now he has to come down and reprimand them and put them in rules and show them because somebody else told him. That's what it says. But that was later on. Somebody else said, hey, you could do it this way, you could do that. But I don't think so. I think that this was going on even back then, because it says it right here. That's what I'm understanding anyway. If you have a different understanding, please let me know.
May this water that brings a curse enter your body, so that your abdomen swells or your womb miscarries.
Wow.
Then the woman is to say, Amen.
Thank you.
So be it. The priest is to write these curses on a scroll, and then wash them off into the bitter water. He shall make the woman drink the bitter water that brings a curse, and this water that brings a curse and causes bitter suffering will enter her.
Spell.
The priest is to take from her hands the grain offering for jealousy, wave it before the Lord and bring it to the altar. The priest is then to take a handful of the grain offering as a memorial offering and burn it on the altar. After that, he is to make the woman drink the water. If she has made herself impure and been unfaithful to her husband, this will be the result. When she is made to drink the water that brings a curse and causes bitter suffering, it will enter her. Her abdomen will swell, and her womb will miscarry, and she will become a curse. If, however, the woman has not made herself impure, but is clean, she will be cleared of guilt, and will be able to have children. This, then, is the law of jealousy, when a woman goes astray and makes herself impure while married to her husband, or when feelings of jealousy come over a man because he suspects his wife. The priest is to make her stand before the Lord, and is to apply this entire law to her. The husband will be innocent of any wrongdoing, but the woman will bear the consequences of her sin. Numbers chapter 6. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, if a man or woman wants to make a special vow, a vow of dedication to the Lord as a Nazirite, they must abstain from wine and other fermented drink, and must not drink vinegar made from wine or other fermented drink. They must not drink grape juice or eat grapes or raisins. As long as they remain under their Nazirite vow, they must not eat anything that comes from the grapevine, not even the seeds or skins. During the entire period of their Nazirite vow, no razor may be used on their head. They must be holy until the period of their dedication to the Lord is over. They must let their hair grow long." Throughout the period of their dedication to the Lord, the Nazarite must not go near a dead body. Even if their own father or mother or brother or sister dies, they must not make themselves ceremonially unclean on account of them, because the symbol of their dedication to God is on their head. Throughout the period of their dedication, they are consecrated to the Lord. If someone dies suddenly in the Nazarite's presence, thus defiling the hair that symbolizes their dedication, they must shave their head on the 7th day, the day of their cleansing. Then on the 8th day, they must bring 2 doves or 2 young pigeons to the priest at the entrance to the tent of meeting. The priest is to offer one as a sin offering, and the other as a burnt offering to make atonement for the Nazarite, because they sinned by being in the presence of the dead body. That same day, they are to consecrate their head again. They must rededicate themselves to the Lord for the same period of dedication, and must bring a year-old male lamb as a guilt offering. The previous days do not count, because they became defiled during their period of dedication. Now this is the law of the Nazarite when the period of their dedication is over. They are to be brought to the entrance to the tent of meeting. There they are to present their offerings to the Lord: a year-old male lamb without defect for a burnt offering, a year-old ewe lamb without defect for a sin offering, a ram without defect for a fellowship offering, together with their grain offerings and drink offerings, and a basket of bread made with the finest flour and without yeast, thick loaves with olive oil mixed in, and thin loaves brushed with olive oil. The priest is to present all these before the Lord, and make the sin offering and the burnt offering. He is to present the basket of unleavened bread, and is to sacrifice the ram as a fellowship offering to the Lord, together with its grain offering and drink offering. Then, at the entrance to the tent of meeting, the Nazarite must shave off the hair that symbolizes their dedication. They are to take the hair and put it in the fire that is under the sacrifice of the fellowship offering. After the Nazarite has shaved off the hair that symbolizes their dedication, the priest is to place in their hands a boiled shoulder of the ram, and 1 thick loaf and 1 thin loaf from the basket, both made without yeast. The priest shall then wave these before the Lord as a wave offering. They are holy, and belong to the priest, together with the breast that was waved and the thigh that was presented. After that, the Nazarite may drink wine. This is the law of the Nazarite who vows offerings to the Lord in accordance with their dedication, in addition to whatever else they can afford. They must fulfill the vows they have made, according to the law of the Nazarite. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron and his sons, this is how you are to bless the Israelites. Say to them, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace." So they will put my name on the Israelites, and I will bless them.
That was interesting because it took a total left when it was talking about marriage, but I guess that's what that part of the book is about. So it's interesting to say the least. But again, I want to see what the New Testament says, right? Because this is obviously written for them, for his people. That's what he calls them, right? So I don't see how it relates to me, any of it at all. But I'm reading it. I'm learning a lot from it. There's a lot from this book that you can acquire and you can use on a daily basis. Believe me, like that part about the wife, and this is the Old Testament, so nobody has to do that because supposedly Jesus Christ died for your sins. So all this stuff you don't have to do. You don't have to run through these rituals anymore, but they do. So, I love you so much rule. That was pretty interesting, right? I thought. There's a lot to think about there because it kind of it's just different sets of information that really kind of confuses me. But hey, at least we're reading it, we're getting it in. We can learn a little bit something. If anybody, is confused about it, just about what you just heard, just look it up. If you got some questions, throw them in the chat if you want to talk about it. That's cool. We can disseminate it together. If not, let's keep it rolling. Tomorrow, which is Sabbath. Tomorrow's Sabbath. We're gonna do this. We're gonna finish numbers because, really, for me reading this stuff is kind of like I'm making it mandatory for me because I need to know. I just need to know how does this involve me and my people. What is where we come from this? How can we find ties? How can I find ties? And if I don't, I don't. That's cool. I'm not gonna waste my time. Well, not waste my time, but I'm not gonna continue to guess, to try and think, and maybe possibly it might be something. No, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. So that's what we're doing. So love your soul, not your role. You already know. Happy Fortification Friday. Yahweh loves you. Yes, He does. Listen twice and speak once, and don't ever give up. No matter what, don't give up. See you.